A very good morning to all our listeners. This is the talk of the town for the Newsfirst team. I'm Jaimal Ratnayaka, and today we have a very interesting guest in our studios. He is Professor John Thangarajah, Director of Research, Centre for Industrial AI Research and Innovation, RMIT Australia, a university in Australia that you and I know very well. A very good morning to you, Professor, and welcome on Talk of the Town.
Good morning, Jamal, and thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here.
So, Professor, you are an expert in a field that has come to the fore very significantly over the past few years, especially over the past year or so. Artificial intelligence. All these years, yes, that field used to exist, but we only saw artificial intelligence in sci fi movies like The Matrix and so on. But now, because we are witnessing it in real life, how is it like being an expert in the field of artificial intelligence?
Yeah, I mean, look, good question. So I've been in the field almost 25 years now.
Right.
And you're quite right. The term AI was coined back in the 50s. It's been around for a long time. And you hit on a good point. You just said that we've been using it, or the majority have been using it the last 2 to 3 years.
Yes.
Actually, you've been using it for much longer than that.
Okay.
Google, when it came out, the search engine, it's been on for a while, right? And AI is behind that. I guess what we've seen recently, and you're spot on, right? 3 years ago, when we talked about AI, and my opening line would be, when we say AI, you think of the Terminator.
Exactly.
Now, when we say AI, you think of ChatGPT, Bart, and so on, right? So the game changer here was, if you like ChatGPT and these generative AI models that's come out, and the potential of that, everybody can see now, and everyone's excited about it.
Right.
But we were using maps, Google Maps, search engines, all that that is powered by AI. Facebook's been around for much longer, powered by AI, right? So it's an exciting time, but at the same time, just like when Terminator came out and we all cringed a little bit, even large language models like ChatGPT, I'm not trying to belittle it at all. It's fantastic, but really the true AI is much more than just the ChatGPTs.
It's more advanced.
Much more advanced in the sense that the intelligence aspect,
Right.
right? I mean, people talk about ChatGPT, and people often say it can understand what you're saying. It doesn't. If you lift the hood, again, it's amazing technology. It's fantastic, but it's not. It can't understand, right? And it's not. That's not the way the technology works, right? I mean, I don't want to get into the tech, but it's not how it's built. But it's brilliant for what it is, right? I mean, for the layperson today, even using it, it's just brilliant.
For
what it can
someone
do.
who isn't in the field 24/7, this is an advanced algorithm. But for you, it might be just another algorithm, isn't it?
Oh, look, like I said, let's not belittle it. It's fantastic. And it's come, like, just from 2018 is when the significant sort of research came out.
And I think the beauty of it is now it is available to the public. It's available in the public domain.
That is the key thing. I think the key thing is accessibility. Everybody can use it. They made it open for people to use, and everyone can dwell in it a little bit. You don't need a lot of knowledge, like you said, right? You can just take a deep dive, and you can see the power of AI and what can happen with such technology in your hands, right? Then the question really is, how do we put it to good use? What are the limitations? Once we begin to understand that better, we'll really harness that a lot more as well. Right now, we're using it. Industries are uptaking it and trying to understand better how they fit it. Because LLMs, large language models, they can also get things wrong.
Yes, certainly.
And very wrong. Again, because of the lack of understanding, right? At the end of the day, in a very crude way, it's just doing pattern matching based on what it's learned from trillions of data, right? So what we need to try and understand is, how do we use it knowing the error rate, knowing that it's not perfect? How do we use it to good use?
Right.
And we're already doing that to a certain extent.
Right. So let's demystify this notion, because when algorithms like ChatGPT, when it was introduced, everyone was so surprised, and they adopted it to a scale where they were using it even for daily activities. But the feeling that was lingering was, will AI one day take over the world and also take over the jobs that people have? Are we facing a future where AI will take over human jobs, and this will create an impact in the job market and employment opportunities and so on?
Yes. and no.
Okay.
And so let me start with the yes bit. Yes, it already has replaced some jobs, right? And this is not just AI though. Let's go back. Industrial revolution, digitization.
Yes.
This changed work, right? And jobs changed.
Right.
AI, in a similar way, is changing jobs, right? The mundane tasks that we do, simple data crunching, this can be done by machines. It can be done much better. They don't need sick leave. They don't need time off. They don't need to cross-check their answers.
Exactly.
They get it right. So in that sense, yes, it's changing. Okay. Does that mean that we as humans won't have jobs? No. Industrial revolution happened. Yeah, the animals lost a lot of jobs, and they didn't get repurposed in that sense.
Yes.
But to a large extent, humans, we created more jobs.
So, Professor Thangarajah, you're the Director of Research at the Center for Industrial AI Research and Innovation. And AI has now been adopted by many industries around the world, and interdisciplinary collaborations have started to bear fruit. What are the sort of interdisciplinary collaborations that you have been working on and that you are more intrigued to share with our listeners today?
Oh, I mean, great question, Jamal. So this is exactly what I do. In what we look at is take AI technologies. And how do we take what we've done in research and in theory and put it to practice, right? And so with the different sort of industry, I'll give you a couple of examples. So I work with doctors in hospitals in Melbourne, for example, where we look at how do we use computer vision, which is an AI technique, looking at CT, MRIs, PET scans to improve diagnosis.
I see.
So for example, we one of the works we did was looking at taking CT scans of men and to identify prostate cancer. So MRI is a gold standard. CT is not typically used because even the radiologists can't see prostate cancer to the naked eye in a given CT. So we showed that AI or computer vision can actually do it. And so we tested it with radiologists and we showed that we get better performance. So that's one sector. Then, for example, in the agriculture, for example, we look at how we can get little land drones out there on fields to detect weed, for example, and how to inject herbicides in the appropriate quantities and when to harvest and so on.
And that's the way it was on the Talk of the Town. It's back to the studio.